Time Wizard Tuesday, guys. Today we are taking a look at the top 4 deck list from the Priverno Shuffle Deck Gaming City Championship. So that is a province in Latina. So once again, shout outs to Edison Format Latina. You can check them out over on Instagram. Here is their tag here. So remember to check them out, guys. They post their weekly deck list as well as different tournaments that are being hosted. So you can find all of that over on their Instagram. So shout outs to those guys. So let's go ahead and we are going to jump in and talk about these deck lists. So for number 4, our 4th place deck, we have Andrea. Andrea played Diva Heroes. So this is a pretty classic Diva Hero deck with a few choices he made here. So we have obviously our Triple Caius Dad, Greffers, the Divas, Mallies, Stratos, the whole hero package with our darks, and then our waters, he went with double Snowman Eater. So that's slightly different from some people. Some people are on Treeborn, some people are not playing Treeborn. So he just went straight up for the double Snowman Eater in the main deck and one Spined Gilman. And then, of course, we have our Allure Darkness Brain Control. He is on the double Gold Sarcophagus. So he did stick with wanting to search out his cards. He said, I got 2 turns, we can wait, and stuck with 2 Gold Sarks in the main deck. And then, of course, the rest of the deck is pretty much what you've come to expect from Diva Hero ever since a few weeks before Nationals last year when a true hero, topped and did well with Diva Hero and came out with like the trap build, I guess is what they were calling it at one point. I don't know. Anyway, so for his side deck, you're going to notice a lot of these side decks are very, very similar. And a thing to note, this was a rather small SDG regional in comparison to some of the other ones. I believe that's why there is only a top 4. I know a few people from Rome didn't bother going because of just how far it was. It was not in the main area of Latina. It was in a different province off to the side. There's like no train station, so it was like you absolutely had to drive to get there. And when I looked it up, the store was kind of just like in the middle of nowhere. So a lot of these guys that did go to this, the point I'm trying to make is they play together like all the time. They go to they post pictures on the Edison Format Latina page, and you can see where they're like at a house and there's like 20 of them at this house playing, so they know what each other plays. They know what to side deck. So you're going to see a lot of these same side deck choices in all of the top 4 decks. With that in mind, let's talk about this guy's top 4 list. Side in double Light Imprisoning Mirror, so I assume that there's a good bit of people that were playing Lightsworn in the past, and kind of makes sense. If you looked at the last Roma Regional, there were 2 Lightsworn in the top, so that makes sense to me. Double DD Crow, good utility card. Double Fossil Dyna. A Kaiku is there for Vayu. I've noticed Kaiku is quite popular still in the side deck over here in Italy for Vayu, and also with Vayu will also play it themselves. And then we have Lightning Vortex, My Body, a single smashing, 1 deck Devi, and then the Dust Tornadoes and Pulling the Rug. The extra is pretty standard, but we will say, as there is no Cyber Dragon at all, none, no Cyber Dragon. He said, I do not fear Machina, no Cyber Dragons, so there is no Chimera Tech in the extra, which allowed him to have that 1 extra free spot. And it looks like he dedicated it to Mistworm, or yeah, I would say Mistworm is probably the odd card out here. So dedicated that spot to Mistworm. All right, so this was our top 4. He's either 3rd or 4th place. I don't think they played it out. So shout outs to Andrea with his Diva Hero deck. And then coming in and 3rd/4th again is Mario. Mario played Blackwing, and this is a pretty standard list for Italy. The Legacy of Yada build is not very popular here, and a lot of people are on the 1 Starlight, 1 Oppression in the main deck. So another thing that I've seen differences between the online tournaments and results from everywhere else. A lot of the American Blackwing list only use 1 Vayu, but here in Italy, a lot of people play 2. Someone actually made a point of that to me at locals once, and I was like, oh yeah, I never really noticed it before. But yeah, in Italy, 2 Vayu seems a lot more standard overall. Just their choices, right? So this list is, exactly what you expect to see for Blackwing outside of, this is not the legacy of Yada build that's been doing well recently. This is more, I guess, counter heavy since it's on the mainlight Starlight Road and Royal Oppression. And then for our side deck, we have the Other Oppression, 2 Deck Devastation Viruses, 2 Cyber Dragons. This guy said, I need something for, for those decks that are dropping bigger cards, maybe dealing with Alias and things like that, or maybe he was afraid somebody would show up with Machina, right? So he is on the Cyber Dragons. And then we have double DD Crow, double Fossil Dyna, Mind Control, My Body as a Shield. This card is quite popular from the Latina players. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. So in my mind, I want to say Latina. Maybe it's Latina. I mean, I feel like that's how it should be pronounced. Sorry for butchering anybody's names, obviously. And then Dust Tornado, and then double pulling the rug. And then everything is pretty standard. We do see the Chimera Tech is back for his deck because he's on the Cyber Dragons. Yeah, not too much to say about this list. It's what you expect from Blackwing when it is the non-legacy of Yada build. And that is Mario in 3rd or 4th place. Like I said, I don't believe they played it out. And then next up we have Mattia. Mattia was on, looky here, the Amaryllis list. So if you watched my videos last week, if you follow Edison format at all, if you know anything about Edison format, you know that this is the new banging popular build of the deck. And I will note that his deck is 2 cards different from the build that's going around. First off, he is on the Sangan. So he did play Sangan in his deck. And then, I said 2 cards, but, he's on, what was it? There was something else I noticed that he was playing that isn't common in the main deck. Maybe it was just the Sangan when I was building this list. Let's check, guys. Let's check. I have the other list right here. Is it the bottomless? It's the bottomlesses. I wanted to say that, but I was like, no, I don't think it was bottomless. So it was bottomless. So he is on double bottomless, and there is no torrential at all for this list. So there's no torrential in the main deck. There's no torrential in the side deck. He opted to just play bottomless, 0 torrential tribute. Go ahead, swarm your field, because he's only going to be able to get rid of 1 at a time with his counters. But yeah, this is, it's the deck we came to love and see and honor, and Titanial Turbo. The deck is crazy, right, guys? So he did throw in Sangan and double bottomless. No Scrap Iron Scarecrow in this one. For his side deck, it is slightly different. I had to change a lot of the side deck between the popular build and this one. So he is on Consecrated Light, 1 Cyber Dragon, double DD Crow, the Burial from a Different Dimension. This is a card I also considered playing myself, as Soul Release and cards like that are quite popular. I also consider just playing Return from the Different Dimension. Just returning a bunch of Titanials seems pretty good. But you can also, with this, get back Amaryllis, so that's also a counterpoint to that. And then we have Mind Control. So he doesn't have a lot of those spells that the other decks are. He opted to play no Brain Control at all. So I have called Brain Control the brokest card in this format. And Mattia showed up, and he's like, you know what? I'm not going to play Brain Control. No Brain Control in his deck. He only has Mark of the Rose and Mind Control. 0 Brain Control. He said, I am not paying 800 life points, right? And then we have a double Karma Cut. So he bumped up the Karma Cuts, which might have been a good choice. He did get into the finals over Blackwings, right? Did he play the Blackwing player? I have no idea. But he did get into the finals over Blackwing. If the standings are anything to go by, him losing and coming in second means he probably played the 4th place deck. So he probably beat the Diva Hero, based on how standings usually work. So, yeah, shout-outs to him playing the Amaryllis deck. And, of course, another shout-out to Nick Trudden for making this deck so popular. I remember seeing it in person at Nationals, and I was like, the deck seems cool, but I don't know. I don't know if it's going to be that good of a deck. It has its ups and downs, right? And then it's changed a lot and evolved a lot since then and has become... I don't know. I'm a believer. I'm a botanist. If you watched the last video, you know I'm a botanist now. We are out here playing our little plants and having a good time, So Very fun deck. He did the double light mirrors. I think people were really, really expecting Lightsworn at this tournament. And then our winner of the day with, you're not going to believe this, guys, the winning deck list was Vayu Turbo. What else did you expect? Vayu wins everything. Come on. Best deck in the format, right? So, solved format. All right. Anyway, all the complaining online, right? So, we have Vayu Turbo. Vayu. Absolutely a standard list. Another thing to note, though, he is main decking the Starlight Road over Torrential Tribute. This is another deck with no Torrential Tribute, and he does have a few changes to the side and the extra. But overall, I think from his main deck, the only card that's like surprisingly sticks out that he does not play and instead plays this is Starlight Road, and there's no Torrential in this list at all. Even in the side deck, no Torrential. So for his side, we are on the double Dyna. I'm a big fan of Dyna and the Kaiku. Kaiku is a very good side. It stops crows and it allows you to banish your opponent's stuff. And because of that, he only plays one crow. The My Body as a shield. Compulse, an insane card. I feel like Compulse is really, really good right now. Double Deck Devi. Triple Dust Tornado for the Blackwing matchups, I'm assuming. And, you know, other rogue things that they're good against. And, of course, pulling the rugs. And for his side, since there is no Cyber Dragon, once again, another player's like, I don't expect Machina to show up. Nobody's going to play it. It's not a real deck, right? Even though the giant tier list says it's like the most winning deck in the format. But locally here in their region of Italy, there is no Machina apparently because he did not side deck Cyber Dragon. He did not play the Chimera Tech, which allowed him to play Flamvell Uruquizas. So he did have an extra 6 in there that he could go into and, you know, has trample and stuff. So it's a pretty good card overall. So going through these deck lists, one thing you'll notice, I believe only one player. No, okay. So only the top 2 decks did not play Torrential Tribute. And Cyber Dragon was just not really a thing outside of, you know, the one of. So 2 of the players did not respect Chimera Tech, and it did well for them. Obviously, Vayu is Vayu. There's no reason to go on and on about Vayu. You know the deck. You either love it, you either hate it. It's a very strong deck. It does well when it does well. And, you know, there's not much to say about it. But congratulations to... Oh, I never said his name. Congratulations to Manuel for doing well with Vayu. And this is Italian, so maybe his name is like Manuel. I don't know. I'm sorry if I'm butchering your names, guys. I'm really, really sorry. But Manuel was how I would normally pronounce that. Manuel, whatever. All right, so congratulations to you. I apologize if I butchered any names. Shout outs. I believe they call themselves Team Colossal in Latina down in Central Italy, right? Because they're south of Rome, and we're Central Italy still. So congratulations to everyone who showed up to this. I do not know how many players entered this tournament. I only know the top 4 deck list. And again, you can find those deck lists here on this channel, and you can find them on Edison Format Latina on Instagram. Check them out, guys. So it has been another edition of Time Wizard Tuesday. Come back tomorrow for What's Cooking Wednesday. And I'll see you next time. Remember to like, follow, subscribe. Comment down below. What do you think? Is this format dead because Vayu wins everything? I don't think so. See you next time, guys.